happening, gang? It's your boy Retro back again with another reaction video. Yeah. Today we got another huge update. You guys can probably already tell that it is going down. Just by that title alone, you guys are definitely gonna want to see this one, as we're finally seeing it happen, guys, and it is oh so sweet. Finally seeing these rogue Democratic officials being held accountable for their actions, their crimes that they've been committing. So we're now seeing that judge, that activist judge Hannah Duggan, being sentenced by a grand jury in this one, guys, and I'm excited to check this one out. So we're not straight into it. All I ask that you guys please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and without further ado, let's get straight into it, folks. Check this one out. All right, so we got that judge, that rogue judge. Just seen it was April 25th when Hannah was arrested. We got libs of TikTok tweeting this out originally, saying breaking: Hannah Duggan, a Milwaukee County Circuit Court judge, has been arrested by the FBI after she reportedly helped an illegal alien evade arrest. Duggan allegedly misdirected federal agents away from the subject to be arrested in her courthouse, Eduardo Flores Ruiz, allowing the subject, an illegal alien, to evade arrest. And she has now been charged with obstructing the arrest of an illegal alien. Here she is right here, guys. Take a good look. Take a good look, because you won't be seeing her for a while on the streets, that's the least. She is going down and down for real. Oh, this is sweet. I mean, we have been waiting. We've been asking and almost begging, pleading, please arrest these folks. Show some type of force, a backbone, set the precedent, set the tone so they won't keep doing this. Oh my goodness. Check this out. This was her on the day, right after she was arrested, running out the courtroom.
Anything to say about this?
After she broke the law with no comment afterwards, like, no. Wow. And then they floored it. Right after being arrested, Hannah Duggan rushes to the car outside the Milwaukee Federal Courthouse after being arrested by the FBI agents for reportedly helping an illegal evade arrest. And then we had Attorney General Pam Bondi quickly addressing the situation, saying that she will be held accountable. She's not going to be able to slip her way out of this one. Check it out.
Back to our top story now. Federal officers arresting two county judges, one current and one former. One of them, a sitting Milwaukee County Circuit Judge, Hannah Duggan, who FBI Director Kash Patel says is being charged with obstruction for allegedly helping an undocumented immigrant evade arrest last week. The second arrest, a former New Mexico judge, along with his wife, now facing charges related to harboring a member of the gang, Venezuelan gang, Tren de Aragua. Joining me now, the nation's top prosecutor, U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi. It's been quite a busy day for you.
Very busy day. Very busy week.
And I'm actually getting statements in as our interview is beginning. I'll get to that for a second because I'm going to read it cold with you. But let's start, Pam, with Judge number one, Hannah Duggan in Milwaukee. You arrested a sitting judge.
We did.
Why did you feel that was necessary?
It was appalling to all of us what happened. I used to be a domestic violence prosecutor, and this case involved someone who was deported under President Obama, came back into our country, we don't know when, illegally, and he was living at a residence, and he beat up a man so badly he had to go to the hospital, his roommate. He punched him with a closed fist in the face 30 times. The victim fell to the ground and he choked him. Then the girlfriend came in, tried to break it up. He punched a woman in the face with a closed fist so hard she fell to the ground. He hit her in the arm. Both of them had to go to the hospital. The fight's broken up. They're taken to the hospital, and he's threatening to do further harm to them later. So it's hard enough to get any victim of domestic violence to cooperate. We had two victims sitting in a courtroom that day.
So what did this judge do that led to ICE coming in to make this arrest?
So she's a sitting judge on a domestic violence case. He's the defendant, Ruiz, two victims and a prosecutor, a state prosecutor in the courtroom. It is routinely done when people are picked up on any kind of warrants that it's done outside a courtroom. It's been done in that courthouse. It's been done in a courthouse where I prosecuted 20 years ago. The reason? Because I Executing a warrant is one of the most dangerous things law enforcement officers can do. You never know what you're going to encounter behind that door, what kind of weapons, with any defendant. So the safest place to do it is if you know they're going to be in a courthouse because they've gone through security. You know a defendant isn't armed. It's a sterile daytime situation. It's routinely done in courthouses, any kind of warrants. So the ICE team was there, DEA, FBI, ICE team. They're outside the courthouse, a courtroom. They're in the courthouse. The judge finds out that they're there to arrest him. And the way he got on the radar, of course, is he got arrested. He beat up these people. So she knew they were there. They were outside. She comes outside the courtroom and is visibly angry, yelling, raising her voice to them. She directs them to go see the chief judge. So while they do that, she goes back in the courtroom, gets back on the bench while a prosecutor is sitting there with 2 victims of domestic violence, and tells the defense attorney and the defendant, Ruiz, to come in the back with her. She takes them in the back in a private area. This is appalling. Through her chambers, lets them back out and leave. One of the DEA agents, I believe, sees them exiting and doesn't know what's going on. So she continues with her docket, finishes her docket. 2 victims sit in court all morning long, waiting. At the end, the prosecutor said, "What happened? Why didn't the case get called?" She removed it from the docket without telling anyone, had them go out a door to leave. Then ICE, meaning the ICE team, DEA, FBI, have to chase him down, which is what is so dangerous, outside the courthouse by an intersection. Pedestrians could have been killed. He could have been hurt. They could have been hurt. They catch him, take him into custody. Those are the facts of the case.
All right. As you lay out the facts of the case, as you can imagine, people are now responding. Bear with me here. We just got this full statement from the lawyer representing Judge Hannah Dugan saying that she has committed herself to the rule of law and the principles of due process for her entire career as a lawyer and a judge. She has retained former United States Attorney Stephen Biskupik to represent her. Judge Dugan will defend herself vigorously and looks forward to being exonerated. Okay, quick reaction to that. But what I really want to get to is also the governor is speaking out, as well as a Democratic Congresswoman, Gwen Moore, because you can imagine the other side of politics responding to this. But first, your response to the attorney representing Dugan.
Well, everyone is entitled to their day in court. Judges, criminal defendants, victims, and those victims were entitled to their day in court, and they didn't get it because she let a criminal defendant walk out a door. She helped them. She obstructed justice. And that's what she's charged with.
Wow, that's absolutely insane to hear, but Attorney General Pam Bondi let us know that everyone will have their day in court. And it looks like Miss Hannah Dugan just had hers yesterday. So we have AP News reporting out that Wisconsin judge, Hannah Dugan, has now been indicted, faces 15 years on accusation that she helped illegal migrant evade ICE agents inside of that courtroom. Check this out. Oh my. It says a federal grand jury has indicted Wisconsin judge on Tuesday on charges that she helped a man in the country illegally evade U.S. immigration authorities looking to arrest him as he appeared before her local domestic abuse case. Milwaukee County Circuit Judge Hannah Dugan's arrest and ensuring indictment has escalated a clash between President Trump, his administration, and local authorities over the Republican sweeping immigration crackdown. Democrats have accused the Trump administration of trying to make a national example of Dugan to chill the judicial opposition to the crackdown. And I mean, what else are we supposed to do? I've been crying this for the last couple months now with all these loony activist judges. I don't even know if you could call them judges because they've blatantly shown us that they don't respect the rope. These are literal liberal activists. That's what we're going to start calling these folks. Now they're upset that the lines being drawn by the Trump administration, laws being laid down. Doesn't make any sense. Got prosecutors charging Dugan in April with concealing an individual to prevent arrest and obstruction in the federal criminal justice system. Prosecutors can initiate charges against a defendant directly by filing a complaint or presenting evidence to a grand jury and let that body decide whether to issue charges. A grand jury is still reviewing the charges brought by the complaint to determine whether there is enough probable cause that exists to continue the case as a check on prosecutors' power. I mean, that looks like ample probable cause. I know this is all over the camera footage, CCTV footage from inside of that courtroom. You could clearly see that this lady was trying to help this illegal criminal migrant public safety threat evade an ICE arrest. It's all right there. It's black and white. She's definitely getting charged by the grand jury. And it says, if the grand jury determines there's probable cause, it issues a written statement that charges known as an indictment. That's what's happening in this Dugan's case. It says Dugan faces up to 15 years in prison if she's convicted on both counts. Her team of defense attorneys has responded to the indictment with a one-sentence statement saying that she maintains her innocence and is looking forward to being vindicated in the court. She was scheduled to enter a plea on Thursday. I would love to see what that deal looks like. Her spokesperson or a spokesperson for the U.S. Attorney's Office in Milwaukee declined to comment on the indictment Tuesday evening. Says Dugan's case is similar to the one brought during the first Trump administration against a Massachusetts judge who was accused of helping a man sneak out the back of a courthouse to evade waiting immigration enforcement agents. That case was eventually dismissed. I don't know, especially with what has all been going on as far as, the first 100 days in office, all these judges trying to get in the way, especially the district judges get in the way of Donald Trump's deportation efforts. I mean, we've seen that Judge Boasberg trying to get in the way, or trying to tell Trump that he has to turn the plane around full of these known criminal gang member migrants. We've had a slew of judges across the nation trying to step in the way. So I would be very surprised to see if this case actually got dismissed. Dugan clearly broke the law, and it's time to start enforcing them. It goes on to say, prosecutors say Dugan escorted Ruiz and his lawyer out of the courtroom through the back door on April 18th after learning that the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents were inside the courtroom seeking his arrest. Then it goes on to say, according to court documents, Ruiz illegally re-entered the U.S. after being deported in 2013. Online state court records show that he was charged with 3 counts of misdemeanor domestic abuse in Milwaukee County in March. He was in Dugan's courtroom that morning of the 18th for a hearing. So this guy is a total scumbag, is what it sounds like to me. And he's getting these misdemeanor domestic abuse charges, yet we got Judge Hannah Dugan that wants to take up for this guy who is a known public safety threat. I mean, he put his hands on a man, violently beat him, and then he lashed out and assaulted a woman, which is never acceptable. I just don't see how Hannah Dugan could defend this. And this guy was also twice deported. I feel like this is a common theme with these folks. They're always not supposed to be here in the first place, somehow making their way back in and committing even more crimes. And then we got these loonies on the left that want to come up to bat and defend them. It's nuts. It says court documents suggest that Dugan was alerted to the agent's presence by her clerk, who was informed by an attorney. The agents appeared to be in the hallway. An affidavit says that Dugan was visibly angry over the agent's arrival and called the situation absurd. Before approaching the bench and retreating to her chambers, she and another judge later approached the members of the arrest team in the courthouse with what witnesses described as a confrontational, angry demeanor. She wants to talk about what's absurd. It's absurd her actions that she carried out on that day of April 18th. That's sick. You really defend this monster? And it goes on to say, after a back and forth with the agents over the arrest warrant for Ruiz, Dugan then demanded they speak with the chief judge and led them down the hallway and away from the courtroom. And she then returned to her courtroom and was heard saying words to the effect, "Wait, come with me," and ushered Ruiz and his attorney through the back jury door, typically used only by deputies, jurors, court staff, and in-custody defendants. And then it says Ruiz was free on a signature bond in the abuse case at the time, according to the online state court records. And of course, federal agents ultimately captured him outside the courtroom after a brief foot chase. But she put so many other folks in danger by doing this. This has to be stopped. We can't continue to allow this to be the case. If you really think about it, they're saying that Donald Trump's administration is trying to make an example out of her. Well, good. I don't feel bad for her whatsoever. You can't feel bad for folks like this. She has no remorse in her crimes. This all was long overdue. I mean, the amount of times that these folks, these loonies on the left, have been able to get away with this absolute lawlessness. They truly believe, or starting to think, that they're above the law. It's time to show them they are not. We're now seeing a grand jury deliberating on whether or not Hannah Dugan is going to be guilty and how much time she could potentially be facing. It's insane. 15 years. I bet that's a lot of time for her to sit down and rethink what's right, what's wrong, and the duties of her office, guys. But definitely hop in that comment section. Comments are open. I'm excited to hear what you guys are thinking on this one. Also, make sure you guys please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd enjoy more content like this, catch you guys on the next one week.